Well, my brothers and sisters, we're back down in my basement again. It's nighttime, and so I have some words I'd like to share with you. Our reading comes from Luke 4, 1 through 13. So here's what I'm thinking. What if Jesus had said, okay, yeah, I'll do it. What if he had turned just one small stone into a small loaf of bread? Look, he was hungry. He was famished. Why not fill the emptiness? Not a feast or even a big loaf, just a little something to get him by. What if he had accepted the glory and authority of all the kingdom of the world? Why not free fall into the arms of the angels? After all, he is the beloved Son. What if Jesus had said, okay, yeah, I'll do it? Would Jesus have been less beloved? Would he have no longer been God's Son? Would Jesus have been a failure? Those sound like questions of curiosity, but they're not. Look, Jesus may not have said, okay, yeah, I'll do it. But I have. Maybe you have as well also. See, sometimes we're hungry for attention, acceptance, approval. Each of us, I suspect. Emptiness, of restlessness, boredom, and that sense that we are going nowheres. And life has, you know what I mean. No, we haven't turned a stone into a small piece of bread, but we're likely filled with our emptiness and feed our hunger with something less than nutrients and life-giving. Sometimes other than what we know God would want for us. We only want a little something to get us by, fill the hole, and satisfy the hunger. But it doesn't. It never does. It only gets us to the next fix. Listen, other times we know better, but we don't do better. We take the easy way out. We do less than we really want to. We take a shortcut through life. It's easy to justify. Everyone does it. No one gets hurt. I deserved it. The end justifies the meaning. No one knows. And then there are times we negotiate with God. Have you ever thought or prepared a prayer? If you really love me, if you are the God I want you to be there, catch me, give me, do for me. Let's tell the truth. Jesus' temptation in the wilderness is not all that different than our temptations. The wilderness is not so much a place as a situation. Like Jesus, we are sometimes left alone with our thoughts. Who am I? What is my life about? How will I get through this? See, in the wilderness, there will always be a voice that is quick to offer an answer, an idea, a way. Listen, Jesus was tempted in every way as we are. The difference is that Jesus said no. And sometimes we say, okay, yeah, I'll do it. In that moment, are we less beloved as God? Are we somehow less God's son or daughter? Are we a failure? Let me turn the question around. If we had said no, would we have been more beloved, more God child? Would we have passed and been a spiritual success? Listen, that dueling between good and bad, right and wrong, passing and failing, often underlines our understanding of temptation. See, temptations are seen as God's popped-up quiz. The test has been distributed. God waits for the results, and we wait for a grade. This idea of scorekeeping by God and us I think gives a bad reputation and it is what tends to keep us stuck. Today, the gospel offers a way forward. Can I tell you this? Let's start with Jesus. He is baptized and immediately goes into the wilderness where he is tempted. At his baptism, the Spirit descends upon him, and the heavenly voice declares, "You are my Son, the beloved. With you, I am well pleased." That's the reality. Even before the temptation, before the results are in, that's the reality for us as well. The relationship has already been established. Grace always precedes temptation. Whether Jesus said yes or no did not determine his sonship, his belovedness, or how pleased God was. The temptation, the struggle in the desert did not determine how God would know Jesus, but how Jesus would know himself. In struggling with his temptation, Jesus began to know himself, to be filled with and led by the Spirit. Look, temptation was not a pass-fail examination, but information that let Jesus understand himself. That's what they all for us as well. Every temptation is an opportunity to rediscover, affirm, and claim our identity as a beloved child of God, one in whom he is well pleased. Look, temptation did not establish Jesus' sonship. They helped reveal and confirmed it. Temptation did not overcome his sonship. His sonship is what overcame the temptation. It was the same for us. If that is Jesus' way, then it is also our way. Our response to temptation of life, whether yes or no, tells us something about ourselves. They offer information about who and whom we believe ourselves to be. They revere where we place our trust, how we see the world, and our way of being towards other. In the face of our temptation, we discover our true hunger and emptiness. We find out where it hurts and see how we act out our wounds. We discover our weakness. We can become awakened and self-aware. With each temptation, we learn a little bit more about ourselves. That is important information. It is a diagnosis. All of this offers an opportunity for a new life and a new way of being as beloved child of God. Treatment and healing can only ever happen after the diagnosis had been made. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord makes his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turns his face towards you and gives you peace. Amen.